All right, everybody, welcome. Thank you for joining us for our pep rally for the 2019 Young Age. We'll be at the Tides Inn, which you will hear more about in just a few minutes. But we are so glad that you're here, and as promised, we will not keep you past 12:45. So we want to get right into the content, give you all some really important information, and then let you get to know our speakers a little bit. So welcome. We're glad that you're here, and we're excited about the next 30 minutes and the 9th through the 11th of October. So the first thing that we're going to do is a little trivia game to see how well you know what the tide is all about. Not the inn, the actual tide. And that goes into why we chose this as our theme. So what we're going to do is we will ask the question. All you need to do is buzz in by just calling out your name. So the question, if you'll just let me get all the way through it. Some are true or false, some are kind of fill in the blank, but if you know the answer, buzz in with your name, and the first person with the correct answer is our winner. All right, the winner overall will receive a $10 Amazon gift card. So anyway, we'll get there. So true or false, there are only 2 tides per day. I'll read it again. True or false? There are only 2 tides per day.
Jake.
All right, Jake.
Let's just say true. We'll just say true.
Does anyone have another guess?
Dang it.
Adam.
Can Jake buzz in again? Is that okay?
Hold on, Adam.
Adam, can you? We can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can hear you.
Ah, I didn't know I was okay. Yeah. Sorry.
Say true, Adam. Say true.
I was thinking true, but I'll go false.
That is correct, Adam Winfrey. And the answer is there are 4. There are 2 high tides and 2 low tides per day.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right, next question. True or false? When the tide's range is at its maximum, it's called the spring tide. True or false? When the tide's range is at its maximum, it's called the spring tide.
False.
Wait, who
I've
said
never
that?
heard that. Adam, sorry.
Okay. Anyone else have another guess?
Way. Well, what happened?
I said, Jake, do you have another guess?
I was going to say true.
That is true. Now, a spring tide is actually sort of a more complex phenomenon. So I'll let you read up on that if you would like more. I can't get into all the details, but it's interesting. All right, third question. This is a fill in the blank, and you have to have the answer in the right order. The Army wanted, this is for the D-Day invasion, okay? The Army wanted a blank tide, so high or low, but the Navy wanted a blank tide, high or low. So they wanted 2 different things. The Army wanted a high or low tide. The Navy wanted a high or low tide, and this is for the D-Day invasion.
Buzz in with your name.
Adam, I would think the Navy would want high and the Army would want low. But let Jake finish. Let Jake go first.
No. You're doing just fine.
So, Adam, that is not correct.
No.
So
Jake wins by default.
So,
they wanted a low tide rather than a high tide.
Who? The Army
The
or
Navy
the Navy?
wanted a low tide. The Navy wanted a low tide.
They did. That is correct. Jake, you are rocking it today.
You know, some people try to be just good.
Okay, this one's.
wow.
What just happened?
Nothing. We just had.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, sorry, this
Oh.
wasn't showing up. All right, this will make it easier.
Got it.
Okay,
Yeah, that's good.
all right. Next question. Tide pools are areas that are completely underwater at blank tide. This one's common sense, guys.
I didn't hear the first part. You cut out on the first part.
Okay, tide pools are areas that are completely underwater at blank tide, high or low.
Oh, Jake.
Okay,
High tide.
that is correct, sir.
God.
And then our last question for the moment, true or false? Edible sea creatures, like crabs, mussels, snails, etc., would be able to survive without the tides. Edible sea creatures like crabs, mussels, snails, etc., would be able to survive without tides.
Jake.
All right?
I would say true.
I'm thinking false. This is Adam.
Adam, you are correct.
Ah, boo.
Yeah.
So what we really want
I've never heard the expression edible sea creatures before. Did you make that up?
Well, thank you.
That's all I
I'm
want to
sure-
eat now.
I'm sure there are some that are not edible. That's my guess. So the whole point of those trivia questions surrounding the tide is really the tide is a very powerful metaphor. It's a really important piece when it comes to marine life. To a lot of things depend upon the tide, and so we wanted to really sort of tie that into everything that we're doing, because we believe that you young agents are, as you all know, it is my pet peeve when people say that you are the future leadership of the agency, because you are actually leading now. And very much like the tide, you have the ability to bring everybody around you up. And so that is why we chose this particular for this event. You are proving it every single day. And so those trivia questions just tie into the fact that the tide is very important. It's critical for life. And it's a powerful force, and true about our young agents. Allie,
All right.
dying to take control. I know you are, so
Here
I'm
I
gonna let you do it.
Okay, so what can you expect from the conference? First, we're going to go over the objectives worksheet that you should have gotten in your email this morning. This is a different version, so I can also send you this version if you'd like. So basically, I just wanted to run through this. This is something we created for you all to go through with your managers and with your supervisors. So it says things like, what would you like me to achieve by attending this conference? Things to not do. Also, which vendors at the exhibitor trade show, we have those on our website if you would like to go and check those out, and then discuss with your manager which of those you want to see, which of those they have questions for, that kind of thing. Is there anything you would like me to avoid? We also have this little section right here about what their expectation is when it comes to email and phone capabilities and availability. And then the second page is for the sessions. And so this page you can kind of use when today, if you'd like, when our speakers are kind of going over what they expect to cover.
So I get to use that to grade you right now?
To grade me?
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm just kidding. Jeepers.
I would love to know your grade of my presentation.
Avoid Allie.
What can you expect? Don't talk to Allie. All compliments. Okay. So Wednesday, we are going to start off with a scavenger hunt, but it is not like the scavenger hunt we did last year. We are going to be doing it on the resort, and it's a photo scavenger hunt. So you will need to take pictures of different things. You're going to have to be creative and think outside of the box. So it's not like go and find this here. Dave, we don't have to go look for how far we are above sea level and take 3 hours to figure that out. So it's going to be a little different, but still a pretty fun photo scavenger hunt. Then we will have welcome dinner. It's not at the Baja Bean Company. It will be at a different place. We have not gotten that nailed down quite yet, but it's going to be a lot of fun. We're excited to keep this welcome dinner event going. We've had great success the last 2 years, getting everybody there, getting everybody excited, kind of mingling before we start the It's a really great icebreaker. So Thursday, kind of the rundown. Registration will open at 8. We'll have a light breakfast. Then we will have our first speaker on understanding leadership. You will hear from him in just a minute. Then our next speaker on understanding the 10 objectives every successful agency practices. Then embark. So this is something new this year. These are presentations, 5-minute presentations with 20 slides that auto advance every 15 seconds. And Jake has volunteered to do one of these presentations, so we're super excited about that. We've seen presentations on healthy eating, leadership, strategic planning, raising chickens.
Adam Winfrey.
Adam.
Oh, I'm here.
No, we're just telling you, like, that sounds right up your alley, sir.
For the presentation.
To do an embark? Oh, I didn't know I was like allowed to do one.
Oh, absolutely, you are, sir.
If you are interested in giving a presentation, please contact Carter Lyons.
Right.
Clay and Jake are already signed up to do one, and I've done one before at a different event, and they're a lot of fun. They kind of push you to the limits. Also, we'll have our trade show. We'll have a break for you guys to kind of check up on email and maybe connect with home. Then we'll do our annual awards dinner, where we will crown our new Young Agent of the Year and our Young Agent Company Person of the Year. Then we will have a bonfire on the beach. We're really excited about that. We are at a beautiful resort, so we'll get to kind of hang out outside and mingle after full day that Thursday will be. And on Friday, we will start with Dave Dillon in his session, Why the Right Mindset Delivers Big Results. We'll also have breakfast. We're going to have an optional activity this year. Bob Bradshaw and
Tyler Hancock is
a definite.
Yes.
Tyler Hancock and Bradshaw gosh, we'll be giving boat rides right around the resort that morning. We'll have a sign-up sheet at registration on Thursday morning. So that's where you'll kind of pick your slot for that. And then we'll have our Young Agents Committee meeting immediately following that. All right, so now we will hear from our speakers. Kaylin, you're up first.
Well, thank you. My name's Kaylin Blanchard, everybody. I'm actually not in Virginia. I'm in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, but I'm excited to be up in Virginia with you guys on this weekend. I'm going to be discussing leadership, and I'm going to be approaching it from three different categories. One being mindset, because if you don't have the right mindset, all the tactics in the world won't save you. And then I am going to go over tactics and techniques. There are ways to utilize leadership, right? There's mindsets and there's skill sets. So I want to make sure I cover both of those things. And then, one of the most important aspects of any business is the ability to recruit, right? There's people that are going to be at this conference joining us that want to grow their own agencies, that want to grow a team of people who are focused on the same mission. And that's something that we've been able to do very well with the company that I work with. The average age of the company that I joined, I'm 33 years old. I joined this company right around 29, 30, right in between. And the average age of the company at that time was like over 55 years old was the average. And we have since driven the average down quite a bit by bringing on literally thousands of young people in their 20s and turning them on to being self-employed, learning how to lead themselves, learning how to lead others, and really grow as people, but also grow their income and grow their freedom. Because so many people were like me coming out of college, buried in student loan debt with a degree that's worth the ink and the paper it's printed on. And the changing job market has led a lot of people to have to find new ways to make money. And, the insurance profession is tried and true, and you're going to always be able to fill a need there. And so what does it come down to? It comes down to who you are, what you learn, and what you're willing to apply. And it took me from being a server, from like these tactics, these techniques, these things I'm going to share with you guys, took me from being a server for like 15 years, buried in debt, literally miserable in my life, to having punched a clock for anyone else, since 60 days into starting in my professional career, because I was so coachable, so hungry. And so come to this conference and keep an open mind, but understand that you can have, be, or do anything you want if you apply the right skills, the right plan, and the right tactics. Like that's something I hold deeply to my core, and that will come out in my presentation, because the only thing holding you back is you. If you're not where you want to be right now, sometimes it's just patience. Keep doing what you're doing and have patience. But I also believe you can go get it all today. You can put one foot in front of the other every single day. And so a quick tip I want to leave you guys with that you can use today. This is almost anything that you hear from someone on a stage is learned from someone else who's had success. And I've had incredible mentors. And one such mentor makes about $110,000 a month. He's been in business about 20 years now for himself. And he says, one of the best techniques he's ever found in life is just to turn things that you want to accomplish into a checklist. And that might sound overly simple, but sometimes overly simple is genius. So as a professional, we are the business. So if you have life stuff, put it on a checklist. If you have a certain number of calls you need to do today, put it on a checklist. Turn your life into a checklist and stop having so much going on. You run into people that say, I have so much going on. There's a lot on my plate. What's on your plate? You should be able to answer that question clearly, have a strategy, and just get those things done. And so he doesn't ever go to bed without having his checklist ready for the next day. And all he does is review what he got done or what he didn't get done, turn it into a list, and move forward. You string enough of those lists together over time, you're going to accomplish much, much more than you think you can. And so I'm sure that's my time, and I look forward to seeing and meeting all of you and having a great time. I've never been to this area of Virginia, so I'm pretty excited. Looks like you guys have a great event planned, so thanks for having me.
Thanks.
Thank
David?
you so much, Kaylin.
Thank you. Really excited.
So I loved about the piece that Kaylin just shared with you guys, especially that tip, is it ties very well into my presentation, which is the top objectives that every successful agency practices. And the reason why, the similarity between these two, and when I was talking to Carter about which program to run for you guys, and she was telling me about Kaylin's, I thought it was very interesting, because I'm sure you've heard the expression before that hope is not a strategy. And I think that's going to be, I'm sure, Kaylin, that's going to be a common theme in your approach, right? We want to have a very consistent approach to our professional career. Mine takes that in a little bit different direction, the same focus, but on what the agency should be doing. So it's very similar. So we put together a list of 10 objectives that we see in every successful agency. So I work for a company called Agency Performance Partners. We work solely with independent agents throughout the U.S. and up into Canada to help them better their agency. We do this through helping them with recruiting strategies and training and strategic visioning and all of these things. What we've found is that in the well over 700, I think we're up over 800 agencies we've been into, is we've condensed everything that we see in those agencies in terms of what makes them successful. So sometimes this is agency culture. Sometimes there are things that are a little bit more less tangible, like how do we drive leadership? How do we drive culture? And then there are things that we see in agencies that are very specific, like developing a forever recruiting strategy so that we're always trying to recruit new talent into the agency. Are we investing in branding and marketing? What is our innovation? What is our future planning? How do we run our daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, annual meeting? So we're really going to take some of the ideas that Kaylin's talking about in terms of having a plan and set you on the path to, here are the areas you should be looking at within your agency to drive the success by identifying these 10 specific areas. If we focus on these, build towards these, create that checklist around these programs, you'll be successful. What I really like about this particular presentation is that we've done this to a number of different audiences. So I've run this to young agent committees in other states. We've run this with very successful agency owners, other groups where the audience might be and account managers and producers. I've even run this program in front of carrier marketing reps and in front of college students that were pursuing an insurance career. And what I like about this is that you don't have to be an employee of an agency to understand what makes a successful agency. Because whether you're looking for a new job or you're a carrier, you're an employee, you want to start your own agency, all of these still come into play, and they still drive what makes an independent agency successful. So I'm looking forward to sharing these with you. Hope that this will help you not just today within your agency, but also start to plan for how you look at the industry and how you interact with other agencies and even other businesses, because a lot of these can even be expanded outside of our industry. So, I'm not from Virginia either. If you can't tell, I'm in Massachusetts. I know my accent isn't super thick compared to up here, but I'm sure you can hear it there. So I'm looking forward to coming down there and visiting with you guys in a couple weeks.
We have some great Southern hospitality waiting for you. Don't you worry. All right, Dave Dillon, you're up.
Okay, awesome. Thanks. Oops, I didn't hit the share. Do you see my screen?
You got it.
Yep,
You're good.
You can see
Okay, good. Thanks. Really pleased to be here. I am in Virginia. I'm a neighbor of Jake up here and in Northern Virginia. Pleased to be here. Really want to go through, ties in nicely with both Kaylin and David on the right mindset to deliver results. And this will be Friday, which will be really interesting. And, as I talk to agents, around in Virginia and other states, the real problem in the industry is you guys are great. You're awesome. That's why you're at the session. You got a lot going on, but since we're independent, right, a lot of it's on you. And we don't get a lot of help from other folks in general. So, and at the same time, you're facing a lot of competition, and especially new forms of competition, disruptors, the InsurTech stuff, and the models are changing. And so guess what? That gets a little stressful, and we're all trying to balance a lot and do a lot in our personal life and private life, and it gets tough. And so, really the cool part is it doesn't really have to be that way. And, sort of where I'm going to take the discussion on Friday morning is bring you some proven approaches, some things that have worked, not only, let's say across industries and across the world, sort of some, simple concepts like Kaylin mentioned, but really help you give some things that you can use and apply. And it's really cool too that others want to help. Others want to make you feel, to be more productive. They want to see you perform. That's going to help you stand out. And, as Carter was saying with the tides, you are a leader now. Others want to help you enhance that and get even better. And when you do, you stand out. You can stand out. You can still differentiate. You can still add value. And when you do that, you can make a big impact. And the cool part is that impact can generate huge rewards. And here's another one where I'll throw in the both personal and professional parts of your life, because we're all balancing both, right? So there'll be things you can apply in my session over the weekend when you get back to your personal life, but then first thing Monday morning in your professional life, okay? So we're gonna talk about 5 key principles at the session. So today I just wanna focus on 1 to whet your appetite and give you some pre-work homework, okay? And sort of one of the principles is navigating the resistance to change. And we all know change happens, it's gonna happen, the only constant is change, change is inevitable. Whatever you want to use as just a reminder that, change is a reality. And it's especially pronounced when you're working with others where sometimes it gets tough, right? Because they might not want to change and they might not have the same information. You have to deal with that and really navigate it. And sometimes there's resistance, and that resistance is tough to get past. And so really want you to think about a change challenge you have going on right now. Maybe it's trying to win a new customer or client. Maybe it's trying to work with an industry partner that's new or changing or something. Maybe it's trying to regain a lost client or dealing with a new technology or a new model. Think of something, and I'd like you to think about it now and shortly after. What is one thing you're dealing with that is a change item that you're running resistance to? And so I think we're all facing them. Another one I'd put on here in the professional or personal item as well. But think of those specific things that you're dealing with. And at the session, we'll go through what's called David Gleicher's formula for change. And today we'll focus more on the resistance there, but there's a formula for overcoming the resistance to change. It focuses on, the D is the dissatisfaction of the current situation. The V is the vision of the future post-change environment. And the F is making concrete, small first steps that people can do to overcome the resistance. And you can see it is an equation. So the left side has to overcome the right side for the change to happen. And we'll go through a lot of this, but for what I want you to think about before the session, Allie sent out this pre-work little formula, or this little handout today in her deal. I want you to write your resistance challenge that you're facing right now at the top, and then write out some specific areas of resistance you're running into related to that. Snap me a photo, send me the copy, whatever, in advance of the session, and I can work that into the deal. And just sort of an example of what I mean. A resistance challenge for me is making sure you all show up that Friday morning session, right? I want to fill that room. And so if you look at the bottom right, some of the resistance areas that I'm anticipating are a late night after a long day, number one, likely some celebrating after the awards dinner, or on the other hand, if you didn't win, maybe some commiserating. So there'll be some headaches. The bonfire on the beach, that's the trouble spot for me. Facing a long drive home, need to catch up with customers. So you get the idea. There's a lot of resistance I can anticipate. And so I need to work prior to the session to make sure you guys all show up. So this is the kind of tool I'll be providing in the session. And I'll really look forward to it, and look forward to giving you some actionable things you can use immediately to be even a stronger high tide and be a better leader. So with that, I will stop sharing so Allie can bring it home.
All right, Carter's going to bring us home with just a few more trivia questions to add to our game.
All right, everybody, hope you were listening, because this is where somebody's going to win a big prize right now. All right, so the first one, again, remember you're buzzing in with your name, so feel free, just shout out your name if you know the answer. First question, name 2 things you can do to prepare for the conference.
Jake.
All right,
I will.
Hold on, I think Adam's muted, so hold on.
Okay, Adam, you're
I'm going to read the question again. I'm going to give
himself.
everybody a fair shot.
I was driving, sorry.
Name 2 things you can do to prepare for the conference.
Jake.
All right, Jake, good job.
Yeah, thank you. I can have my young agent's objective worksheet filled out and ready to go with my principal. And then I can also have my my sheet to rate our speakers and everything all ready to go as well. Or not just, yeah, that's right. Let's do that.
All right, very nice, very nice. A couple of other things that you can do are review the exhibitor list, because we've got some great vendors who are ready and waiting to meet with you. Like Jake, you said, meet with your supervisor on expectations, but also help them to know that you're excited about attending and why. And then make sure, if you've not already done it, that you book your hotel room. We, believe it or not, have sold out our room block once and have added rooms to it. So that's really exciting. Not surprising, but really exciting. And so if you've not booked your hotel room, go ahead and do that. And then the other thing that I'm going to ask each of you to do who are on here today is to really talk it up with, your friends, with your colleagues in the insurance profession, because as I hope you've seen today, this is just a taste of what you're going to get from our presenters. They are awesome. They are knowledgeable, and they've got some really solid takeaways that you all can put to work right away. And we're going to be at a really gorgeous property. The room rate for this property is pretty unbelievably low. And so it's a chance for you to be spoiled for a few days and it not cost you a ton. So take advantage. Carriers are going to be there to meet with you, as I mentioned. And of course, we have some fun things planned, the bonfire on the beach, a really fun welcome dinner, a fun welcome activity. We're going to be doing a scavenger hunt and the chance to connect with other agents, which we always hear from you is a top priority. All right, how many slides when all of you line up to do your Embark presentations? They are optional, but I know they're going to be in high demand after today. How many slides go into your Embark presentation?
It's just one, right? This is Adam.
Nope, it is not just one.
No.
I don't remember.
Okay, well, Jake, you're doing this, so it's really good to clarify this for you.
I know. I might need to get a little clarification here.
So it is 20 slides, and they advance automatically every 15
20
seconds. 20 slides. Yes, Adam, that's correct.
Are you doing that, Adam? Because yeah.
Adam's gonna do one. Don't you worry.
I gotta marinate. Oof. Yeah.
We'll talk later, Adam. We've got ideas.
All
right.
Good, sweet.
So last question. So nobody got that one right. I guess I got that one right. Last question. True or false? One of the benefits that young agents say comes from the conference, in addition to the huge, amazing takeaways, of course, is the lasting connections made with other insurance professionals.
Jake.
Jake?
True.
That is absolutely correct. Well done,
100%.
sir. Well done. All right. So, our winner for today is kind of by a little bit of a landslide. Jake, congratulations. You have won a $10 Amazon gift card.
Ooh, Jake.
And we have another opportunity for you to win, so don't give up just yet. The person to refer the most people to register for the conference by Friday, September 28th, so that's a little bit over a week, will also win another $10 gift card. So in order to refer them, what we need you to do is just add your name to the who referred you to the person must add your name to the who referred you to the conference field. So talk it up, guys. You've experienced these amazing speakers. You're the first ones to do it, and tell everybody that you know to come.
I have a quick question.
Yes, sir.
Can I give my $10 gift card back if that means I get my slides reduced by 10?
No.
Not how that works.
$10 slide.
Dang it. All right. All right. Just wanted to clarify. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, nice try. Good try. All right, everyone. We are going to wrap this up for you today. Thank you for joining us. We will see you October 9th, starting with the photo scavenger hunt. And if you have any other questions, please feel free to email either me or Allie or Rebecca, and we will see you soon. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Bye, y'all. Thanks.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.